Welcome back, Fantasy Meatballers, Denim Boys. We are back at it again. And,
Gene Jack.
dude, I can honestly, like, this past week, like, I hated that Steelers-Ravens game. I was looking at my fantasy lineup for the past 3 days, and I was just like, dude, just end the game. Forfeit it. Like, it was so frustrating not being able to set a lineup, pick up players, put in waiver claims. I was annoyed. I don't know about you, but I was pissed off.
Throws off our whole agenda today. Usually we have our waiver claims in by now, and we can talk about who we're trying to plug in this week. But we're sitting here and we don't even know who we got. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll give you a bonus episode. Maybe. But what was cool though is I turned on the TV and Hollywood Brown finally did something.
Just took Trace McSorley.
70-yard touchdown. Yeah. Took the third string quarterback. Not too long ago, I was asking you if I should pick this guy up, and I mean that was cool. But everything else about that game, I'm just, as a football fan, I'm like, this Pittsburgh team is like the most overrated 11-0 team I've ever seen. I think I think Pat Mahomes will do something to them in the playoffs, but
yeah, I think they'll get let out. And it was the worst thing was too, because of the time difference and everything, or like time change with the clocks going, like it's getting dark earlier. It started at 3:30, right? It felt like that game took 8 hours. It's like it's still sunny out, the game's starting. I go outside, it's still on, and I'm just like, dude, like it's dark, and I'm just like, it's still on. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. I feel like that was like a Sunday, like 4:00 game, and then like tomorrow's Monday, and it's just throwing off my whole like rhythm. Not now, like we'll probably never have a game on Wednesday, but who knows, dude? The season's nuts.
Yeah,
it's shaping out to be even crazier in our fantasy league because we have 4 teams
now
that are all going to be 7-5.
Yep,
and fight for the 3 through 6 seed, and you're one of them, right?
Yes.
And you're facing another one of them in a head-to-head matchup in the last game, week 13. Wow, like,
yeah,
it's never been this close. Never been this close, and you got a lot to tell us.
Yeah, so I'm going to be facing Ben this week. It's pretty exciting, I'm guessing. See, the thing is with Ben's roster, as I pull it up now, there's one player that I'm actually worried about, and that's obviously Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's had a couple bad weeks this past week. I'm not, 9.6, 22 against Seattle. It's not like that blew me away or anything like that, but 4 weeks before, 34, 43, 40, and 33. So that's the player that I'm worried about the most. He plays the Rams. I think that's going to be a pretty good matchup. In terms, it's going to be the first time that they play the Rams this season. So I think that'll be pretty cool to see like what they can do defensively on the Rams side to slow down Kyler Murray. And, DeAndre Hopkins, Jalen Ramsey. That's always going to be a good matchup too. So that could limit his fantasy points, or that can make him scramble a lot more. So that's the one player that I'm worried about. And
you think EMT comes back this week?
Well, see, that's the thing though. They're on a bye week, so I'm not even worried about that. Yeah, so the only time I'd have to worry about is behind what this seeding is going to be if I play Ben after the bye week. Because after this bye week, CMC is going to be back. And we saw what CMC did when he did come back that one game, and then he got hurt again. He had 37 points in our league. That's going to be a killer. But the other player that I'm not worried about, or a player like there's a lot of players that I'm not super worried about that are going to kill me. Number one,
I think I know where you're going with this.
I am not worried at all about Ezekiel Elliott. I'm not worried. That's nothing to me. And it goes against Baltimore this week. I'm not too worried about that. I say that, I'm probably mushing myself. He's going to probably have 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, or something crazy like that. But frankly, I'm not too worried.
Not happening.
So I think I don't want to guarantee myself a win, but I do like my chances this week in winning. The players that I have on bye, I am going to be losing Chris Godwin this week to a bye week, but I will have Deebo Samuel starting in my flex. And I think that's going to be...
He looks so good.
Yeah, I think that's going to be helping me. One player I'm a little concerned about on my team is Josh Jacobs. What that injury looks like. Is he going to be out? He's got a great matchup against the Jets. That's really what I'm hoping for him to come back. But even if I don't have Jacobs, I'd probably be able to pivot from one of my other running back options.
It'd be nice to have Booker right now.
Yeah, I had him, and then I cut him. So, of course I do that. If Booker is out in any of your leagues, pick him up, roster him. That's somebody that you want to have on your team for sure.
How are you handling Brandon Cooks? Like, do you think like he's gonna blow up? Like he's been really good when Fuller's been out there. Are you more worried about him now?
I'm not more worried in the sense of just I don't know if Cooks can demand that kind of target share. I don't think that that's going to happen out of him. This is a guy that hasn't been healthy a whole lot either over the past 2 or 3 years. So I'm not too concerned in terms of that. I do think that he'll fall into the end zone, but ultimately, I believe they play the Colts this week.
Tough one.
Yeah, so that's a tough matchup. First week without Will Fuller. What's that going to look like? We don't know what the offense is going to look like. We could see Duke Johnson getting more involved. We could see Kiki Cutie getting involved. Jordan Akins getting involved. So I don't know what that's going to look like. I think Akins is going to line up more in a slot, not at the tight end position itself, just to get him more involved into the passing game. But I don't know what that Texans offense is going to look like without Cooks or without Fuller. No. So that's going to be different.
It's funny. I saw a tweet today, and it was like, Cook is like the anti-Allen Robinson because Cooks has had Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Jared Goff, who is, the
mediocre of the bunch, but he's still serviceable. Yeah,
he's way better. Trubisky, and now he has Deshaun Watson. Like, that's incredible. I never realized that, but I also saw like Fuller and in games without Fuller in the lineup, Deshaun Watson takes a step back, like 2 or 3 fantasy points per game. So it does kind of make an adjustment for the offense, and I mean maybe that helps us down the line when we have to face Watson in the playoffs when Gars is eventually in our way. So maybe fingers crossed. I'll take anything I can, even though I'm losing Fuller in this. So going back to Josh Jacobs, I mean, that's a big one. So you're comfortable. I mean, you really have no choice. You would have to roll out. Would you roll out Booker or would you roll out Hunt and Chubb together?
See, look, the thing with Hunt, though, he hasn't been having those points that we saw in the beginning of the year where I was genuinely excited about seeing him and Chubb in the backfield together. His first 4 games of the season, 12, which is all right, it's decent, 25, 14.4, and 19. So that was those were good matchups. Those are good games. I'll take those points out of my running back too all day. However, with Chubb now back, Philadelphia, 13 carries, 11 yards. 1 touchdown, Satan's weak a little bit, 9 points. This past week against Jacksonville, 6 points. So that doesn't give me a ton of confidence.
They're thrown in the red zone a lot. Like,
You
had this blow-up day last week by Jarvis Landry, and it's like there's only so many mouths you can feed, and Chubb is going to be 1A, and if Hunt gets there, he gets there. But I think you still got to roll him out there because it's just it's such a sticky situation when you have like say Jacobs is healthy. He's probably going to be limited.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a risk of re-injury, and this is a must-win situation. And I know that Hunt won't put a 0 up for you, but there's a risk with Jacobs, and if you get Booker off of waivers.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree with you. Like, if Jacobs is back healthy, he's going to be on a limited workload. And it's the Jets. It's not they're going to be like, yo, Jacobs, we need you now. Like, you have to beat us. We're playing the Jets this week.
Pass the ball.
Yeah, they're not going to be too worried about that. I would not be surprised if they said Josh Jacobs is going to sit this week. We're going to need him healthy when it comes to the games that we need to win. And their upcoming schedule, they're going to need to win these games. They have the Indianapolis Colts, the Chargers, the Dolphins. Those are tough matchups. The Chargers game, I'm not too worried about. I think that'll be good.
Everything's a tough matchup.
Yeah, it's a good point too. But so I'm interested to see what that's going to happen. I really do hope that they do rest him because that's going to be the most important factor to me.
You need him for week 15.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't about you're in the playoffs. You're going to be in. It's about getting the guys healthy.
Yeah.
I know. Do you have any other?
Not in this league particularly, but in the other league that I'm in, a league that I'm a little bit worried about. I'm 9-3 in this league. I have Justin Herbert, Derrick Henry. I'm going to read you my whole roster: Justin Herbert, Derrick Henry, Kareem Hunt, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, Jonnu Smith, Calvin Ridley, Devontae Parker, Raheem Mostert, Jerry Jeudy, Matt Ryan, Christian Kirk, Jalen Reagor, Michael Pittman Jr., and Taysom Hill with J.K. Dobbins in my IR spot. I'm 9-3 in this league. I'm secured my playoff spot. I'm the number 1 seed. The team that I'm worried about, and this is a team that I know I'm going to see in the playoffs or in the championship if I make there. This guy's going to be 7-5. He's got Deshaun Watson, James Robinson, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Joe Mixon. We don't know what that injury is going to be looking like, if he's coming back or not.
He could.
Steelers defense, DeAndre Swift. So he's got players that could put up really, really big points. And I know I wouldn't see him. Yeah, I wouldn't see him until the championship game. I was a little bit worried about another person's team in the beginning, but now I'm not too worried about it anymore because Aaron Jones' usage. I don't understand what Green Bay's doing. Yeah,
long season. You just gotta get hot at the right times, and that team, that's full of guys that Garza's team can have those ceiling days all at one time and put up 20, 30. And your team is very safe.
I hope so.
The team I would say you probably are around 160, 170 on a pretty average week with that roster, but that other one that could put up 200. It's just
yeah, man. After Tyreek Hill's matchup this past week against the Bucs, that made me really, really nervous to see what was going to be going on, what I'm going to be facing if I get to the championship game. That's only
just love to the head and the mind of Andy Reid going into the Bucs week to know okay, we're just gonna absolutely expose Carlton Davis.
Man, that was nuts. Just speed. That was just all speed. That was crazy. It was great to watch. It was fun. It was fun football. But wow, I was not expecting that. Yeah,
it's not expecting that. Metcalf, the opposite, but the same.
Yeah,
in one way or another. But speaking of specimens, when we think about Dalvin Cook, neither of us have anything. But real quick, is this a situation where you're interested in Madison? I know I'm not, because I invested in this guy, Madison, when Cook missed the game and he burned me, so I'm out on him. But I don't know. It's pretty concerning, though. He finished the game, left leg, but you never know. Could come back now, and that's a big player to lose if that's your guy that got you there.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, I mean, like you had said, mentioned in the last episode, this is where the wear and tear on the running backs come in. We're seeing Jamal Williams get involved in Green Bay a little bit more. Aaron Jones' usage is going down. Where Dalvin Cook is going down, it seems like he's going down with an injury every half. He's just on the field, thriving in pain. It concerns me. However, I got burned by Madison too. I am not interested in Madison. There has to be another running back, if it's, I believe Ham. I think that's what his name is, CJ Ham. Yeah. He might be somebody that I would want to monitor, maybe pick up. But other than him, I'm a little bit more concerned with Madison, where I think a lot of people see the Cook injury go down, or like Cook go down with an injury, God forbid, and Madison's the guy that they pick up. And what happened when Madison was the starter in Atlanta? 2 points. And he burned a lot of people. And I'm worried that as playoff time comes around, if we have to lean on Madison, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, you need reliability. So, yeah, I mean, for me, I'm trying to secure this bye. But I mushed myself last week. I will admit that. Like, I did, and it did. It happened, and it could happen again this week. But I got Jay, and he's got Mahomes. Like, I can't get away from these Chiefs. Two back-to-back weeks. Like, he's got Hines, but Taylor's coming back, so I'm okay with that. But if he's smart enough to put Eckler in his lineup.
And he will bench the Broncos wide receivers if the quarterback situation doesn't get resolved. Like, I still couldn't believe. Yeah. I can't believe he won this matchup. I really can't.
But this is very irresponsible of me, but I'm at the point where like it's like the last week. I just want to have fun with my lineup. Like, really, I think I'm in with like Taysom Hill, and I like the matchup.
Okay,
he's got the least threatening defense, unless you're Derek Carr, because he's going up against the Falcons again. And Herbert, he's got
New England this week. Yeah, that's a tough matchup.
You see what happened to even a great second-year quarterback in Kyler Murray, and I was reading around about like daily fantasy stuff on Sunday, and everyone was like, "Yeah, like we're all Kyler Murray this week," and it's because Bill Belichick, like, doesn't matter how talented you are, like young quarterbacks don't play well. But so it's either play Taysom or play Herbert, hoping that if Eckler scored receiving touchdowns, I can kind of wash that out with Jay. So that's kind of a decision I'm mulling over. I don't know what you would do.
Yeah, I mean, if it's me in that situation, I think the dual threat at Taysom Hill is something to be excited for. We saw him get into the end zone twice last week, so that was great. The one thing that I would say in terms of the Patriots, they're traveling to Los Angeles, so that might be so that might be a factor to the point is like, okay, look, time change, travel, they're not home, they don't have a weather effect. Yeah. So that might be a big thing. I don't know if Stephon Gilmore is going to shadow Keenan Allen. I would assume so. Keenan Allen does a lot of damage in the slot, so I don't know if that's going to be a complete shadow situation. But in defense of Justin Herbert, we saw him put up points against the Buccaneers, who, besides from last week, has a great defense. Yeah. We saw him light it up against New Orleans, who has a great defense. So I don't know. I don't know if we even saw the defense yet to go up against Herbert, where we're like, whoa. I mean, look, he didn't have a great game against Buffalo. 300 yards and a touchdown. That's pretty good. Yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, that's something to. Yeah, that's a tough decision. I mean, look, you already secured your spot. You're going to be in the playoffs.
I'm just trying to keep you with it, man. Like,
yeah, and I don't think that there's a point where like that would necessarily hurt you, where you're going to be like, oh my god, I can't believe I totally read that decision.
Herbert's a ceiling play. Like, he could put up 30. It's like he almost plays up for those big games with those tough matchups. Hill is probably the safer floor because he's going to do it with his legs. I could see him putting up like 17 to 20 points, but Herbert, dude, hasn't put up less than, I think last week might have been his lowest week, and it was still almost 20. Dude's just amazing, and I'm really pumped for his playoff schedule with Eckler fully ready, back in the lineup. Like, he was already a stud at 1 week. I'll end with this for my team. Miles Sanders is just a fringe running back too nowadays. His Boston Scott snaps keep going up every single week, and I think he was over like the 35% mark, Boston Scott, last week. It's a coach thing. It's simply like, and this is like what I want to talk about real quick, is like talent doesn't always matter with fantasy. It's about your situation. If you have a dysfunctional offense and team, it's so obvious to everyone with like, a brain between their ears that you should just run Miles Sanders. Like, he's getting like 5 yards carry.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this matchup against Green Bay. I'm like, how is Doug going to screw this up? How's the offense just going to look like total crap? And even if they get to the 1 yard line, I have zero confidence that, one, they will score, and two, they will have the wits to hand it off to Sanders. And it's just going to be like, I got to rely on these dump off passes, and the dude can't catch. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, man. Did you see the one he dropped the ball and he's raising his arms up like as if to say, Carson, yo, give me a better ball. Like, dude, it hit you in the hands. Like you dropped it. Don't try and blame the quarterback. Say like, yo, throw it up. Like Carson's having a bad year. We get it. But dude, if it hits you in the hands, you gotta fucking catch it. Like that's on you. That's not on Carson. And it's I could get really riled up about the Eagles, man. But I don't understand the decision making behind what Doug is doing. You had the leading wide receiver in weeks 5 through 8 in Travis Fulgham, and he's barely seeing the field now because Alshon Jeffrey is suddenly healthy and back, as if he's making any kind of a difference. So I don't understand what. Like, it's been 2 weeks now we saw Jeffrey on the field. Clearly, Jeffrey should not be resuming his number one receiving spot. I don't understand why that's there or why he's doing that. And I don't understand the usage behind Miles Sanders. 6 carries this past week. 6. Like, what?
It's criminal. It's criminal. Like, there's 60 running backs in the league that are not even, like, a fraction of talent that he has. And they're all getting probably, like, the carries are. There's no reason why he shouldn't be getting 20 touches a game at least. At least.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. We literally will be here all night if we stay on the Eagles. So in the essence of that, I'll move on. But I mean, the playoffs, like I said, they're coming up.
Yeah. Last week,
14 that are fighting for that. That crucial home field advantage in that first round because you get, I think, 3 points.
Yep, 3.
How many times have we seen games come down to those 1 points, 2 points? That's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge. So
absolutely.
Every start decision week this week matters for you.
It's gonna be.
Don't screw it up.
It's going to be interesting. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited for it to finally get to the playoffs. Now that we're finally here, it's even more like I'm more even happy too that we were able to get through this season. Despite all the uncertainty of everything that's happening, games are getting postponed. I really hope that doesn't happen when it comes to playoff time. That'll be even more brutal, but I'm happy that we were able to do this year for sure.
Yeah, what we saw with Baltimore, like, hopefully that's the most, just the most hectic situation that we have out of any of this. And dude, like, if we have Wednesday night football, like in the playoffs, like, not going to be too thrilled.
That's going to look horrible.
Yeah.
But all right,
bro. We're both going to win this week. I'm going to talk it into existence.
I like it.
I just mushed you.
I'm knocking on wood. I've been knocking on wood this whole time.
All right, well, look, the Denim Gang's got stuff to do. We'll catch you after this week. We'll see how it goes. Wish us luck. Please, and we wish you best of luck as well. Right?
Paul, talk to you later, brother.